What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back. Guys, listen. The Illinois Department of Child and Family Services, or DCFS, is under a lot of scrutiny right now. You know, they have a habit, or it's been reported they have a disturbing pattern of bouncing kids from home to home. Now, you know, foster care, a lot of people were brought up in foster care. That was a common occurrence for things not to work out between the child and the parent that, you know, they're paired with. You know, things like that do happen. But I mean, to have a disturbing pattern of, you know, kids being bounced from home to home, it's something that, you know, a lot of people don't talk about, but it's something that's a common occurrence. Now, when you're a parent, you know, it's your job to offer guidance, mentorship, show the difference between right and wrong, show responsibility, lead by example. And you would think with a child placement organization funded by the state, they would know this. Today, I want to talk about the story of an unnamed 16-year-old girl. And this is sad, guys. These are hard stories for me. That was placed in foster care of a man that's 24 years old. And come to find out, this man here is 24 years old, and he was a pimp. The things he did to this girl for money, you know, not only affected her psyche, her well-being, and just probably her psychological, you know, she'll have psychological ramifications in the future to come. Either way, man, I want you to look at this news excerpt, and I'm going to come back and we're going to really get on this dude. Check this out.
Now, a CBS 2 exclusive investigation. She's only 16 years old and already a sex trafficking victim.
So what does DCFS do? We've learned they placed her with a 3-time convicted felon who's now accused of forcing her into prostitution.
CBS 2 investigator Dave Savini has been exposing state child welfare system failures for years. He joins us now. Dave, this is hard to believe.
Joe and Marie, it is almost unreal what happened to this foster child, but the fact is, DCFS placed a child sexual assault victim into the care of a man who should have never been given a license to be a foster parent.
A troubled 16-year-old girl was sent to this apartment building by DCFS. The state agency in charge of protecting her placed her in a foster parent's home here at the corner of 80th and Hermitage. But during our years-long investigation into DCFS, the CBS 2 investigators made an astounding discovery. The licensed foster parent who the state entrusted to care for that 16-year-old girl was a 24-year-old man with a lengthy felony criminal record. His name is Eric Johnson, and he's also an accused sex trafficker.
They license him as a foster parent. They license this 24-year-old pimp as a foster parent for a 16-year-old girl who had a history of being they were paying tax money to him as a foster parent while he was trafficking a 16-year-old girl in DCFS care.
For 3 years now, we've been investigating DCFS. We've uncovered a disturbing pattern by DCFS, bouncing children from home to home and not getting kids like this girl the proper specialized care. We discovered the teen's case this week when a judge heard evidence of how DCFS hired a psychologist nearly a year ago who told the Child Welfare Agency the girl needed to be in a secure residential treatment sex trafficking program.
So you're saying, on top of everything else, she had a history of being trafficked.
That's right.
And they put her in a home with a pimp.
That's right.
We asked Cook County Public Guardian Charles Goldberg about the way DCFS handled her case.
She needed a secure residential placement that was highly structured and had an intensive program for victims of sex trafficking. And DCFS never did that. They bounced her around from hospital to shelter to foster home.
The court order we obtained says while she has waited to get the proper care and placement she needs, the teen has been trafficked, sexually assaulted, shot, lived on the streets. Ultimately, the agency made a pimp the child's foster parent.
Over this 1 year, this girl has been raped, she's been trafficked, she's been abused, she's been beaten up, and she's been shot. She actually has a bullet in her leg.
We found Johnson has a lengthy criminal record. The teen was placed with him just months after he was released from federal prison after a 24-month sentence on a firearms charge. Before that, he spent 3 years in state prison for 2 robbery convictions. Despite all that, Johnson passed placement clearance and was approved by DCFS to become a foster parent.
How does a guy like that get licensed?
Yeah, it's impossible. It should be impossible. It shocks the conscience. It's of a level of negligence is criminal.
Johnson's latest charges, detailed in this court record, say the juvenile victim was being advertised and prostituted on a known sex website.
What does this say about the background checking system at DCFS?
It says that they're not doing background checks. It says that it's broken. It says that it's dysfunction. It says that maybe we're at the point that we should just abolish DCFS altogether.
Guys, listen. I'm gonna start off by saying that Eric Johnson, 24 years old, Illinois, you're a fucking asshole. Need your head tore off. You know what I'm saying? Listen, guys, what I got from this is this. He's 24 years old. What parental value does he bring to a girl that's 8 years younger than him? Hell, a lot of times you'll see a 16-year-old girl with a 24-year-old man. It's still illicit. Nobody thought about that. What's up with the vetting process? Another thing is this. DCFS paid him to do that to her. Because, when you foster somebody, they pay you monthly for the expenses of the child and you adopting the child. They was paying. I bet they never went over there and checked on that girl or nothing. No, they didn't. The vetting process. Man, listen. Some of us that go try to adopt an animal, and we can't even adopt the animal because they say the house ain't suitable for the dog or the gate ain't big enough for something like that. Here it is, a human being, a young black woman, and they just passing her around like she's laundry. This is a life, and this is what happens when people pick money over mankind. Silly stuff. Disturbing pattern, like I said, they have a disturbing pattern, and it's not just them. It's a lot of these state-funded adoption companies across America doing this. Hey, you've been here too long. We got to match you with somebody. It ain't a match. Just give them to somebody. Yeah, a lot of people. Listen, I met a woman one time, and to me, she was garbage. She had all these different nationality of kids, right? And I never seen anything like this. She had like 8 kids. She was driving a brand new Suburban with rims on it and everything. Had her hair done, everything. I went to her house. She had children from different countries. I remember distinctly, she had a girl from Africa. I'll never forget it. She had that girl outside like picking weeds and had the Spanish dude cutting the grass and all kind of stuff, like doing like real grown man type work. And I was like, what is that? And she just kept them working all the time while she laid in the bed and ate. Don't nobody live here for free. Some of them kids was 8 and 9 years old. They out there working in that heat, Texas heat. And I just looked and I stayed there about 5 minutes. And I was like, yo, you're a piece of shit in my head. And I just got up out of there. And I had mentioned something to a friend of mine that worked for DCF about a week later about that. I mean, she wasn't abusing them, but it's just that how she was using them as labor. It just reminded me of slavery. And come to find out, a week later, something happened and somebody reported her, one of the neighbors, and she wound up getting in some trouble. Now, whether she kept the kids or not, I don't know. But the reason why I brought it up is like, sometimes these people have a whole bunch of foster kids just to collect that check. They care nothing about rearing these children up and teaching them to be responsible human beings and having families of their own where this don't happen no more to them. It's like we pick money over anything. You get 18, guess what? Get your ass out the door. This man right here is the worst of the worst of a man. He's not even a man. Look at this dude. Look at him. Yeah, I want to be a parent. What? I'd have smacked the shit out of him. Get out of here. Get out of here. Look at, you think he tell me where he oozed responsibility. Tell me where he oozed fatherly advice. Tell me where he oozed responsibility. We're just going off of appearance. Going off of appearance. he trafficked this girl, advertised and solicited this girl on a known sex site. And she already was troubled. A lot of times, you know, with kids, there's always cause and effect. What makes them act a certain way? If she was troubled before, she's traumatized now. What did they say? Trafficked, sexually assaulted, which is the R word. Shot. Homeless. She's been homeless. Now they give it to a pimp. What trust or affinity do you think she feels for humanity when nobody feels anything for her? This girl might be ruined. Yeah, she might be ruined. And like I said before, the lady had them out there like slavery. This reminds me of that shit. She been trafficked, sexually assaulted, shot, homeless, ran away, given to a pimp, somebody to take advantage of her body. That ain't slavery, modern day slavery. I don't know what is. That's why sex trafficking is bullshit. And anybody they need to get catch, you cut their heads off right there. And I mean that. That's serious. I mean, people like this are not socially. You can't fix that. That's inertly in him. Either he went through something in his life and he can't be reformed. Like I said, when we start, coming together, a lot of people got to be excluded. Mr. Johnson right here is a perfect example of that. For humanity to thrive, there has to be three things: compassion, empathy, and reasoning. He is beyond all three of them. Where's the Scorpion team when you need it? The Scorpion unit. They need to have a special unit, like the Scorpion team, that when dudes do stupid stuff like this, they sick them on him. You got 10 minutes. Beat his ass. Hopefully he'll live. Then just let him go. Yeah. That's an ass whipping you never forget. Just me talking though, but listen. In a situation like this, I don't know how it is to have an adopted child, but when they're ridiculed and they're abused like that, is there a hotline they can call? Because it's like, hey, we just got you in the house. They forget about them, put the paperwork in the filing cabinet. All of a sudden, it just collects dust. I don't even know if they was checking up. I know they wasn't checking up on her. And he looked like he irresponsible, always want money. Man, they was running her through the mud. Man, I don't even speak about it. But I mean, this is bad. 3 prior felony convictions. A gun charge and robberies. Now, sex trafficking and being a pimp. Go figure. Go figure. Public outrage, where you at? Because this is despicable. Us as black folk came through a lot to get to where we are. And some of us still act like we're being served injustice. The playing field has never been more even for us to have an opportunity to make something of us and change us as a social group in this nation than it is now. And stuff like that knocks us back. Knocks us back. And that's why I have a problem with it. Besides it being something done to a child, he know better. He know better. But who speaks? Who speaks for this young girl who's unnamed? I hope she finds peace and finds a family that's loving enough to take her and show her the right thing. But man, sometimes at 16 years old, when somebody show you any kind of compassion and empathy, you look at them like you're weird because you're so used to living in hell. When somebody offers you a piece of heaven, you don't know how to take it. Hopefully it's not the case with this young lady, man. This guy right here needs to be put up under the jail and crushed. Leave me a comment, guys. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I don't mean to sound depressed, but I mean, man. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.